Hey, this is Dale Tinsley. You're listening to the Connect Podcast. Our purpose is to guide you to connect with yourself so that you can connect with others and live a life of meaning and value. Continuing the series, Limitless Potential, Endless Refinement. Peace be with you, and welcome back to the Connect Podcast. Hope you guys are feeling amazing today, vibrant, full of life, full of energy. For today's interview, we're back on the couch. It's been a while. I'm excited to have Jennifer Boutwell. Jennifer is a mother, she's an author, she's a speaker, and she's here for a reason. She's got an amazing story of what she's done, where she's been, who she's become, cultivated herself to be. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. So, so many things with you.
Lots of life.
Lots of life, lots of experience. Let's start at the beginning of the journey.
Okay, I'm one of 5 children.
Okay.
So I'm second to oldest, although the older brother always says that I'm the oldest, and I disagree. We're 2 years apart, and so I was the only girl for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we had all the different family pockets of, you know, blended families here and there. And so being the only girl for 9 years, I learned real quick I had to be super tough and could not cry ever because the boys would just torture the hell out of me. And then when I was 9, my mom had a girl.
Okay.
And then my aunt had a girl, and then my other aunt had a girl, and so all of a sudden the girls took back over. But I was still, you know, that 9 years of being tough and the only girl went a long ways. Definitely grew up in a very structured, strict home. My dad was oil field.
Okay.
And he had a business and was really great with the business. And then there was the oil field crash. And so he ended up going back offshore. And mom was the disciplinary, the everything. You know, she ran the house. Dad would be gone sometimes 12 weeks at a time. So when he came home, he was the fun dad, you know, and then he'd be home for 2 or 3 days, and then he'd have to leave and go back offshore. But mom was pretty strict, you know. She had everything done a certain way. We grew up in a very structured religious household.
Okay.
And everything was black and white. There was no gray areas with that. You know, church 3 times a week, knocking on doors during the weekend. Okay. I mean, it was this is the way it was. There was no gray area whatsoever.
Wow.
So it was interesting.
Yeah, I bet. And it sounds like being the only female, you were battle tested, literally.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could fight with the best of them. I mean, look, when you're the only girl for that long, you learn how to hold your own real quick.
Or tormented, like you said.
Oh yeah, look, I learned at a very early age I did not cry and did not show any weakness, because the boys, if you had one tear, they were coming at you. You know, my brother was in town this weekend, and he was just messing with me like brothers do, and he's like, man, I can't even get a rouse out of you anymore. And I was like, nope, can't do it.
Did you give him the secret?
Nope. No, I didn't.
The secret is you know who you are.
He's like, man, I'm like, it's not even worth that response anymore. You know, like, it's just, no, not doing it.
Sometimes people still see us a certain way.
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would grab the pigtails and do the motorcycle and just torture me, you know, all out of fun and his way of showing love, you know. But now that we're, you know, older and wiser, I guess, I'm just like, no, I won't bite. He'll still try, but I'm like, no.
So that's interesting. What comes to mind, what I want to ask you now is like, when you started maturing as a young woman and getting into your feminine energy with that rough upbringing, you know, with the boys and all that, how did that feel for you?
Oh, it's very awkward, very hard. And honestly, I don't think I started really claiming my feminine energy until the last 4 years.
Last 4? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, and I worked with a leadership coach, and she was like, you need to start wearing bright colors, hence the yellow and purple polish. Like, I was like, no, I was always in black and white, that was it, or red. And those were very strong, powerful colors for me. And so literally for a whole year, she had me do things to enhance the feminine energy, because I live in a very alpha role. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business partner, like all these different roles. And I've always been the decision makers. And so I had to learn how to be, not embrace the feminine energy. Not that I'm not feminine, but I'm also, there was always that shield, that guard of not showing emotions, not doing any of those things. And so literally finding ways to enhance the feminine energy had to become a practice learned. And even to this day, like I'll still like open the closet and I'm like, oh, I'm speaking today, let me grab the black. And then I'm like, no, you're not grabbing the black. You're gonna, what color? Like I have 2 sections that are all black in the closet, and then like a little section that's like colored. So if I buy anything new black, I have to buy something colored too. And it's got to be a feminine color. Yes.
For you, you know, and because I've only met you recently, so I didn't know the prior. You feel me? So,
very strong energy, very, it's really weird because there was a lot inside that people didn't see, obviously, and there was a lot of vulnerability and imposter syndrome and all those things, but from a business standpoint and the image that I put out into the world, it was very confident, very strong. You would never see me cry, you would never see me waver. It was like very convicted on whatever I was doing. And I would say over the last 4 years, Jennifer Culverhouse, my leadership coach, Enneagram coach, I don't know if you're familiar with the Enneagram system, but it's like a communication type personality test. And so she specializes in that, and I'm an active controller 8. Which describes like all of the, I just check all the boxes under that personality. So she's helped me to embrace softness and let that become not only on the feminine energy, but even in my leadership. And that's done wonders for my company and just the way that I interact with people.
Yeah, it's tapping into different layers, that different tools and different layers, and yeah, we've got to use all the resources.
Oh yeah,
and you're a beautiful young woman. You know,
well,
you
thank
should.
you.
And comfortability.
Yeah.
But you know, as you're talking about the leadership and all the attributes that feed that leadership and really becoming a strong alpha, so to speak, a leader. When did you really begin cultivating internally, and was it something that you were aware of?
I've always been a natural leader. So I think there's different leaders. There's credibility, there's influence, and then there's the person that has both. And so people have always navigated towards me just influential. And then in 2010, I had a walkout in my company. When I say a walkout, it was best friend led a whole group of people to leave and go elsewhere. And at that point, my leadership was not what it needed to be. I didn't have the credibility behind me, and I was more of a dictator. Versus
delegator, so to speak.
Oh no, I was a dictator. I was harsh. I was very harsh. I wouldn't like that person today.
Okay.
But I was also, you know, in my late 20s and 30, and I thought I knew everything. And I was following the lead of my mentor at the time, and he was a very strong alpha, do as I say. There was never discussions, and I just, you know, purchased the company from him and went straight to that role. So after I had the walkout is when I got introduced to a different coach. And Redken did this makeover, and I won this makeover. And part of that makeover was, you've got to take business classes, but you're also going to have a business coach. And she really helped me start looking at, like, what did I contribute to each situation?
Sure.
And she would give me all kind of leadership stuff to do. And that was when I was like, man, okay, I thought I was really good, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Early 30s at that point.
Yeah.
So some good timing there.
Oh yes. Oh yes. And through that, it's evolved through the years, and it took hard conversations. You know, I remember, her name's Deb McMahon, and Deb sat down with me and she says, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "For what?" And she's like, "To look in the mirror." Ooh. And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, it's time for you to get real." And this was right after my second divorce. You know, had the walkout, and it was like, okay, I need to start doing some serious work. And I've always been a learner and done work. I did beauty pageants and public speaking, and always, you know, went in and would teach young kids how to be confident and that kind of stuff. But there was still a lot that I kept in a box, kept hidden. And it was Deb who kept pushing. You know, every month she would come in and she would poke a little bit more and poke a little bit more until it was finally like, oh man.
What kind of reactions was she getting?
Sometimes
it's not always pretty.
No,
it's rarely pretty.
Sometimes she would get the what the hell are you doing? Like, we're not having this conversation. Other times it was, you know, just tears. You know, the first time that I just started bawling, crying to her, she's from Kentucky, and she says, "Bless your heart," a lot. And it has multiple meanings.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, when I'm in it's not me, I'm the victim, she was like, "Bless your heart." You know, and then when I did the tears, she was like, "Oh, come here." And then she hugs me, and it's a different bless your heart.
Sure.
You know, and to this day, Deb's still my business coach, but she's my friend, my mentor.
Awesome.
We talk daily, and I wouldn't be where I'm at now without her. But it was a lot of hard conversations, you know, and she really pushed me to see things from different perspectives.
It's key.
You know, and she would always ask the question, like, is that true? You know, if I'm like, oh, this person did this to me, and she was like, okay, is that really true? And then if I would come back with, well, they did blah, 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 she was like, well, okay, why? Or, you know, is that 100% true that everybody hates you, or everybody thinks you're dumb, or, you know, and then it's like, well, wait, hold up. Maybe it's not, because she could say, I don't believe that.
Right.
And then that totally dissolves that perception.
Yeah, the ego always wants to play the victim and the blame game.
Yeah.
There's a saying, we don't, and I believe it 100%, we don't see the world or people as is, so to speak. We see them the way we see them through our lens of who we are and our perspective and our perceptions. So when you're starting to get into that work, you don't know that, right? You just think, and everything is so feeling based, and then the ego's still in control, and so he's going to try and never have any accountability. Right? And so there's different tricks and tactics to show us that we are not that voice in our heads, you know, and you're not the victim. Like, things happen. And when you start to really take the self-accountability and the ownership, okay, what's my role in this situation? And you can do that without being resistant. Now you got some power. Now you starting to cook, you know what I mean? Because then at that point, man, look, I get full body chills. The perspective starts shifting, and you start seeing things. Look,
Well, yeah.
And it's, I mean, that's when the magic happens, when that veil starts to come down and we start feeling authentic. And it's a bit scary at first.
Oh, it's very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
It's very scary. And then, you know, sometimes it's like when you start really going into that, you can't just talk to anyone about it. You know, it's a very small group of people that you can have those honest conversations with, because even I had friends that were, you know, I don't want to say toxic because they were there for a reason, but they would also add fuel to the fire. Like if I'm like, oh, this just happened and, you know, this person did this, and then they would chime in and like escalate that story and feeling and emotion. And then as I started doing more and more of the work and was like, okay, well, what was my role in this?
Of course.
You know, what was my reaction? Did I react or did I respond? Or what am I supposed to learn from this scenario versus being that victim when I took on, like, I know I'm going to use this as fuel to impact others, be a better human being. Those people fell away from me. Like they're no longer part of that inner circle. Still all the love for them in the world, but we're at we just see the world in different places, you know, and I think a lot of it was letting go of my ego. Not that I don't still have it, because the ego is going to pop up. We are all going to have it. But being able to really get honest with myself and saying like, okay, I don't need that fuel added to something. I need that person that's going to say, hold up, what's your role in this? Or what are you supposed to learn in this? Or what are you supposed to teach somebody else?
I was going to ask you, did you, aside from coaches, did you have any like friends that would say, well, what was your role in it? Or, you know, why do you think that happened? Did you have anybody?
Yeah, I have what I call my power team. And of course I have my coaches that I pay for different things. And then I have my personal trainer. Joe's really, really honest. He will just ask me questions that I may not have answers to, but he gives me questions to make me think. My sister and brother-in-law, they'll hold me to it on everything. Both of them have dived into NLP. My brother's an NLP practitioner, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And he's really the one that helped me a lot, because as I started unpacking different things, the traumas and things from my childhood that were in a box, locked away, very safe and secure, started obviously coming out, and I had to like acknowledge those. And Rob really was there helping me through all of it. We did like an 8-hour session of being able to do my timeline, see like where I started as a kid, where my conditioned beliefs, where my limiting beliefs came from. Like it was an intense 9 hour session. And I came out of that just with a new lens. And then I went and got my certification to be an NLP practitioner, because I was like, I need this for me, but I need this to help other people, you know, be able to flip the role. You know, like I was molested at 9 years old by a family friend, church member, and that got pushed under the rug, hidden, not talked about, didn't happen, you know, and then 4 or 5 years later it came out again, pushed back under the rug, like didn't happen, we're not going to talk about it. And so it wasn't until in my 30s that it really, I was like, something's not right. Like, let's go there. And then in, 4 years ago, I got my third divorce, lost my baby sister, all in a 4-month period. And that's when I dove into the NLP and really could see like all of these childhood traumas had really defined so much of who I was. So I had to learn how to like let those beliefs go, let the anger, the guilt, the shame, like all of that just go to the wayside, so that I could start healing myself, healing the younger child, like doing all the things to just get to the point where I'm at now. And it's a work. It's peeling back layers every day. Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Good stuff. No, I mean, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
That's what the Connect podcast is about, is showing people that there is a path forward.
Yeah.
And the people that have sat on this couch, I mean, they're warriors, you know, and yeah, no, we want to inspire people to think.
Yeah. Well, there's power when you can get to a place in your life and have peace with who you were, who you are, and who you will become. And I think 99% of society just wants to have some sort of peace, but they don't know how to achieve that. They don't know where to go for it, you know, and I've been very blessed that I have a lot of really core people around me that have supported me in this role. They challenge me in this role, and they're constantly like, you got to keep pushing through. You know, every time there's a brick wall, because as soon as you feel like it's all worked out, something else will come up, and you've got to be able to face it. Never ending. It's
never ending, and we will always have challenges. We will always have trials and tribulations. But along the way, we get wiser. Our tool belt, we pick up things that we learn. And we continue to run towards the uncomfortable until it's just like a thing. You're just like, I don't, you know, people are like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. This is very uncomfortable. It's okay.
Yeah. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
It's a conversation. Prepare yourself for the conversation. Make some bullet points. And don't come into it being the victim. Like,
no.
You know, so it's a shift in perspective, really.
Yeah.
And perception, to understand that, like, we're all just people.
That's it.
People want things. You know, if you're screwing people over, it's going to be uncomfortable to face that music. So
yeah, it's going to come back
tenfold.
It will come back tenfold.
Or next week or whenever it is. I mean, God does that. God will test us, and then for the soldiers that are signed up for it, yourself being one, we're going to continue to get tested hard, and we just have to keep showing up and, you know, keep doing the next right thing and keep pushing. Where does the drive, so you mentioned you've had these people around you, but you were seeking these people and they came to you.
Oh yeah.
So at some point in your life, you've realized that you have this desire to just keep going and keep pushing and keep evolving? Or did it just kind of happen like in your 30s or your 20s?
I've always been this way. My mom will tell you that I'm probably one of the most optimistic people, and I've always questioned things, but I still followed the rules. I wanted to know the why behind it, but I still followed the rules for validation from my parents, society, religion, all those things. That I started kind of bucking a little bit in my 20s, a little bit more in my 30s. By the time I was, you know, turning 50, I was like, half my life's gone. I don't need to do this for anybody ever again.
Amen.
You know, like, this is, why am I doing this to please somebody else? You know, but I've always been that person to just go all in and push myself to the next level. I don't think I know there's nothing lazy about me, like, ever, ever.
What about resting? You got to rest.
I have to literally put white space on my calendar every week. And every month I have to take at least 3 to 4 days white space, and they're spread out where I'm not allowed to put anything on it. Like, not even like a concert, like I can't put anything on it. And I just have to, no alarm clock. When I get up, whatever I decide to do that day,
that's awesome.
I just do it. And I've gotten really good. It took me probably all of 2022 and 2023 to stick to it, because I love what I do for a living. I feel like I have two amazing careers, both in the beauty industry. Went from, you know, being behind the chair as a hairstylist, salon owner, to now I'm a consultant, and I love it. I love helping people, and so I'm the kind that I will just put it on my schedule every single day, because I don't see it as work. And it took me being very intentional to say, no, now I have white space. And even like one of my shareholders texted me 2 weeks ago on a Sunday night, and she's like, oh, I need to place the orders. What's the budget this week? And I was like, I took the weekend off. I'll call you tomorrow morning. Well, the next day she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, Brandy, I've had to start really getting, drawing hard lines in the sand, because I wear a lot of high functioning roles. And so for me to be my best for all of the different hats that I wear, I have to be able to say, this is my weekend, or this is my afternoon, or my day, and I won't compromise that. I won't say yes, because if I say yes to something, I'm saying no to me. And
you're breaking your commitment.
I'm breaking my commitment to myself.
To yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, and we need that disconnect.
100%.
You know, I do it maybe not as often or that way, but one for me is like hunting season.
Okay.
Going to North Louisiana and sitting in the deer stand, getting in there at night, and everything's off. You know, it's pitch black, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you can barely start to see, and then you'll hear the first chirp. And then over here, you know, in the woods, you'll hear another little chirp, and then it comes to life, and it's a recharge. It's a form of meditation. You know, and if the deer comes out, he comes out, and if they don't, they don't. But we have to make that time for ourselves.
So, funny story, I'm banned from all deer stands. A girlfriend of mine, she wanted to go hunting. My dad, we've got land in Mississippi, and so my dad's like, yeah, y'all come up and let's go. And he tells me I can't wear perfume. And I'm like, well, okay. And then he tells me I can't wear deodorant and I can't wear hairspray. I'm like,
there's special deodorant.
I was like, wait a second. I'm like, hold up, this isn't happening. Well, unbeknownst to me, at the time, I was a big junk food eater, so I brought watermelon, now later candy with me into the deer stand.
That might actually help.
No. I thought my dad was going to crucify me. He was like, you're never coming to the deer stands again. So I brought all kind of snacks with me, and apparently I made noise and the deer could smell it, so they didn't see any deer. And so the next day they decided to go without me, which was fine, because my mom and we went shopping instead, which is more up my alley. But yeah, I've never been allowed to go back, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. I don't know.
You can go to the camp. You can go to the camp and just don't go in the deer stand.
Yeah, no, they do their thing now, and I'm just like, no, y'all can find me sitting on the beach. There you go. I'll go sit on the beach, and y'all go to your deer stands and freeze. Like, I don't want to do any of that. So, yeah.
So you got into a little bit about the company and stuff. Do you want to elaborate more on that?
Yeah. So you know, my baby is my salon company. It's in Gretna. Had it for 26 years.
The name of it?
Salon Sanity. And originally it was Regan's Hair Salon. I bought it from him back in 2000. And then we changed the name in 2010 when we did the makeover, rebranding. I now have 4 shareholders / owners. They've all been with me for anywhere from 5 to 15 years. And so one of the things I set up in the company back in 2021 was, when there's people in my company that have helped me build it, and they're loyal to the company, and I will sell some of my shares to them, so they now have skin in the game. And eventually those 4 people, maybe there may be more down the road, they will buy more. And as I level up in age in life, then they will take more, and so the legacy will go on, and we have it set up where it will always be passed down and can just keep going and evolve. So, you know, I have 2 of my shareholders are in their 20s.
Wow.
and 2 in their 30s. And it's a great way. They handle all the day-to-day operations now. I do all the behind the scenes. We have 20 people on the staff. And they're a fun group of people. I'm gonna brag on them. We just got chosen as top 200 salon again. This is our 6th time being chosen as top 200 salons in the U.S.
Get out.
So super proud of them.
Wow.
They're crushing it. And there's a bunch of titles and accolades. I mean, they crush it on a daily basis. And they're always open to just grow and be better. And, you know, that company led me to where I'm at now. So in 2010, I had the walkout and the makeover from Redken. They brought me to a 3.5 day business class called Summit Salon Business Center Immersive. And that changed a lot in my life, because I realized at the time, that's Deb's my coach, she worked with them. And not only was my business a mess, but my life internally was a mess. And it all just started as I started getting systems in play with the business. I also started learning more about myself and growing. And after 5 years of implementing all their systems, I went to work for Deb on her team as a coach and started doing that part-time. And I was still behind the chair at the salon a couple days a week and doing all the other stuff. And then in 2018, I retired from behind the chair. I had some medical things happening that, you know, if you would have asked me in 2010, I literally would tell you, no, I'm gonna be 80 years old working behind the chair. Like, in my mind, that was my plan. And God obviously had a different plan for me. And I retired from behind the chair and just dove into growing my company and the people in it versus serving clients. And it just multiplied. And now, you know, fast forward to 2026, I am now a partner in the coaching company. They have it set up where as their coaches get to certain levels, we can buy into the company. We're the largest consulting company in the world for salons and spas. And I'm truly blessed with that role. I get to serve 30-something accounts across the country, and I have a team of 14 coaches under me in 8 states. I mean, it's a lot, but it is so rewarding and so fun. I get to travel, meet a lot of different people, and help people in all areas of their life. You know, everybody's in different seasons, and just helping them on their growth path has just been a true blessing.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a loop of just energy and love and flow. And you know, and it's like you're cultivating when you're dealing with one-on-one clients, but then expanding out and being a mentor and being a coach. It's just like so much more expansive, because you're dealing with people that you're coaching, and then they take that fruit and they seed it out, right? And then those grow, and it's just one of our sayings at the Connect podcast is each one teach one. You know? And so it just it multiplies. You were ready.
Oh yeah.
You were ready or you weren't, but it was time to elevate. Yeah,
and you know, it's when I wrote my book and started with the NLP and things like, I really thought that would be a separate path from the beauty industry. I had no intentions of merging the two whatsoever. Even my marketing person was like, you've got to do them together. You've got to do them together. And I was like, oh no, like this is this and this is this, two separate worlds. And I got a call from the VP of my company in April of last year, or May, right after my book came out. And she's like, we want you to be the keynote at our retreat, and we want to get copies for all of our team, all of our employees. And I was like, wait, what? And so they flew me to Vegas, and they've just totally embraced me and supported me on everything. They, you know, this past week I did a big hair show, and they really, you know, allowed me to just speak from the heart. It didn't have to be all numbers and business, but just get up there and be my authentic self and just talk about life and finding joy in the hustle. And, you know, so to be able to find a company that supported that, and it is all commingled and together. You know, I didn't see that coming, and I was fighting. I was like, no, it's going to be separate. It's going to be separate. And now here I am. You know, April 12th will be a year since we did the book release, and it's all just layering together.
It's beautiful. You know, because as you were saying that, what jumped in my head was the outside beauty of the hair and the makeup and all that, paired with the inside beauty of becoming your authentic self and growing and dealing with traumas and acceptance and healing and putting things to rest.
Yeah.
And putting those bags down so that we can start feeling more vibrant and growing into what we want to truly become, you know?
Well, and people will share a lot to their hairstylists. They tell us everything, more than they tell their spouse, more than they tell their doctors, probably more than they tell their attorneys, you know. And I didn't realize that, you know, 25 years plus as a hairstylist, I really was just that active listener for people and help people to feel seen and heard and valued. And it's, you know, my book is all about that. It's about finding your voice, being your true self, and doing that work. And it was like I was silently doing it, not realizing I was doing it. And 100%. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm in this coaching role and leaderships and mentor, and that I automatically connected with. Okay, you're teaching, you're doing it. But I didn't realize I had been doing it all along. So
yeah, did you see my eyes perk when you said I was active listening?
Yeah,
I just did an episode on that.
Oh yeah. Oh look, you can listen, but not actively listen. There's a big difference in it.
Tell us more.
Okay, so
about your book.
So ICU was birthed after losing my baby sister. Gabby was 23 years old, and she was a spitfire, 4'11", just firecracker. And people that know me are always like, oh my God, you're just this ball of energy and you're this, you're that. I'm like, oh, you haven't met anything until you met my other two sisters. Like, they take badassery to a whole nother level. Gabby, you know, was in a car accident and was on life support for 5 days. And then we followed her wishes, and she donated all of her organs and saved like 8 or 9 other people. And from that came this book. And you know, I had just gotten divorced. I was turning 50. I was partying like a rock star. I mean, I had went to St. Thomas, and I mean, there was no stopping me. I was like, it's on. Like, the company's doing great. I had just gotten a role with the coaching company, and I was just living my best life. And then I was on my girls' beach trip, and I'd been partying at 8 o'clock that morning, and I got the call about 3, 4 o'clock that afternoon that I had to get to Mobile, that she was in this accident. And so, you know, after she passed away, I went back to the condo and went for a run. Didn't realize there was a storm. I was just running. And crying and, you know, all the stuff. And I look around and I realize there's no one on the beach. Like, all the chairs and umbrellas are gone. There's not a soul on the beach. There's literally lightning hitting the beach all around me, but not where I'm at. And I just sat there and cried. And there was just like this light, clear, the little bit of sunlight came through the clouds.
Get out.
And it was like, what the hell are you doing? Get your life together. You're wasting it. What are you doing? And from there, I came back home and I went and had a session with Joe. And I'm like, Joe, I think I'm supposed to write a book. And he's like, okay, tell me more. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to write a book and help people that's coming out of narcissistic relationships like what I just got out of. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to talk about being molested. And I think I'm supposed to talk about being, you know, sexually assaulted. And he's looking at me and he's like, you think or you know?
Ooh.
You know, so once again, there's that person that God's placed in my life that's gonna, because I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna do it. And he's like, you think or you know?
Yeah.
And so next 6 months, I just started I pulled up. I'm gonna get all emotional.
And you were, I was in the movie with you when you were on the beach running.
It was
and the
so
lightning
hard.
was hitting.
It was like being in a movie.
Oh, I was watching the movie just now.
But yeah, so Joe like kind of pushed me. He was like, you think or you know, what you gonna do? And so I started pulling out, I'd been journaling for years. Started pulling out all these journals and I'm like, dang, it's all right here. You know? And so then it was just a matter of like putting pieces together. And I would, you know, I travel a lot, like 8 to 10 times a month I can be on a plane. And so I would usually meditate on the plane. And so what I started doing was I would meditate for 4 or 5 minutes on the plane. And then I would just like start typing in my phone, like whatever I was feeling. And it was all just about like me finding my voice after the different things. And because a lot of that wasn't allowed to be talked about, I kept it hidden. But as I started doing research, I realized that I think one of my big connecting pieces in the beauty industry is because you see people differently when they're sitting in your chair. And they tell you things that they wouldn't just tell anybody. And that's a privilege and it's an honor that people feel that they can tell you those things. It's trust. But in my research, I discovered that 4 in 5 girls were molested and 3 in 5 boys were molested. And that was like, when you start looking at a room full of 20 people and more than half those people have experienced it and most will not report it. Or it just goes unsaid. You know, there's generations. I mean, I'm the 4th generation to experience this. And then with me and my sister, we both decided like we're stopping that. Like it's not going beyond us. And we started being very vocal about it. And not everybody wants to hear it.
Right.
Not everybody wants to talk about it. And I'm not being vocal for people to be like, oh, poor thing. Like absolutely not. But we as a society and as humans have to do better.
For people to find their voice.
For people to find their voice. Yeah. And we have to do better in protecting our kids because they're our future. They're the next generation. And if we're not doing that, then who's going to?
Obviously not the government.
No, you're gonna bring me to that topic. No, let's not go there.
But,
yeah.
You know, I think you say all of these different layers, so many different layers, awareness.
Yeah.
Like it really comes back to awareness, and courage. And you know, I didn't develop personally myself. I didn't develop a backbone until I was in my 30s. Like, if these things aren't cultivated in you as a child, and you got to just figure it out. Typically, we'll take the path of least resistance, right? We'll take the easy path or the path that doesn't lead to confrontation. And you continue to do that, you don't have a backbone.
Right.
And then in my 30s, I started, you know, I was involved in the work and I started just cultivating that. And, you know, you can even get aggressive when you're, when the backbone is finally hardening and it's like there, then you're,
oh yeah, you want to tell everybody.
Right. And I'm going to let you know, right? But then as you sink into it, it's like the lion is the lion. Yeah. The lion doesn't need to tell you he's the lion.
No.
He'll show you if he needs to. Yeah. Or the lioness, right? Yeah, that's amazing conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where can people get the book?
Okay, so you can get the book on Amazon. You can actually go to my website. It's on my website. It's jenniferjboutwell.com.
Okay.
Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
You can order at Target, Walmart. So it's pretty much anywhere online that books are sold. You should be able to order it.
Okay. What do you like to do for fun? Don't say work.
Work? No.
Okay. Let me rephrase it.
I love travel. I have 6 states left to go to. And so they're all where it's very cold. So those have to be strategically planned to do during summer months because I don't like cold at all. I'm a 80-degree weather, put me in the Caribbean somewhere, beach kind of vibe. But I love travel. I like seeing just the way different people live, meeting different people. But I can also totally thrive by myself. You know, as active and social as I am, I also like to have like my peace, my alone time, just with no one else around. I started gardening again, so I used to garden all the time, and I had tons of plants, and then, you know, different things happened, and I always say my last husband killed all my plants because I had all these beautiful plants and he came along and they all died, and I was like, oh, it was his energy, and killed all my plants. And so when I got divorced, I went and bought more plants, and now they're all thriving.
Of course they are.
I have a big garden in my backyard, and I don't even get to eat half the food that I grow. I give it away because I do travel so much, but I have everything, you know, tomatoes and cucumbers, and you know, it just brings me peace. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always posting pictures of my flowers in the garden. And I've got my little pup, Cooper, and he's on the back. Nope, he's on the front. He's in here somewhere. Got little Cooper, and now I have a little cat, a little kitten named Luna. And those bring me joy. But if I'm outside, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I like to be outside pretty much more than anything. I've taken up running. I'm not going to say it's fun because it's not. I don't like it at all. But I keep challenging myself to do it because I'm like, if I can do that, I can do anything.
Of course you can.
So it's my, I don't even know what to call it. I just keep doing it. And I say I'm not going to do it. I just did the 10K this weekend, but we walked it. My sisters got me signed up for a 5K next month it's a charity run in Mississippi that we're going to do to bring awareness to abused kids. So, you know, I'm like, I guess it's a hobby, but I don't see it as fun. It's just, it's a mental challenge for me.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me ask you this. The internal cultivation, facing your traumas, looking in the mirror, how has all of that played a part in your 2 sons as a mother and you cultivating with them?
Well, you know, Connor had just left to go to college when I had my divorce, and then Gabby left. So Connor hasn't had the privilege of having the mom that I am now that he had. The relationship that I was in at the time was very strict and rigid, a lot like the religion. Everything was black and white. Our house was not lived in. It was not fun. It was not happy and joyful. And so Connor's childhood was a little bit different. And I do my best to, like, you know, we showed up for all the sporting events. And now his dad and I, not the person that was rigid, but his dad and I, we co-parent great together. We've done a lot to help him. And Connor's very great work ethic. He's finding himself. He just turned 22. He plays rugby, loves that. You know, he wants to be a professor for speaking Spanish, foreign languages, and he's going to thrive and do great. But he still has to, figure out his journey as far as like all the structure that we had. Bryson, on the other hand, Bryson's going to be 19, and Bryson was 14 when I started this. And so he's had the benefit of, and it was an adjustment at first of not having the harsh rules in the house. And, his friends are always in and out, and they were all over last night, and they're like, Miss Jen, what do you want for your birthday? Like, they know my birthday's coming, and they're like, we're gonna get you something, because they're literally at my house every day. And I came out the other morning, and I thought I heard Bryson up, and I walk in, and it's his friend Carter and Brandon, and they're cooking in the kitchen, and I'm like, hey guys, and they're like, oh, hey, Miss Jen, and they're like, you want something? And I was like, no, so he has the life that like I grew up with. My friends were like, they were always at our house. Even as strict and rigid as the rules were in my house, my mom, our friends were always at the house, and there was always activities going. So that the house in the shift in the last 4.5 years is back to probably what it was when they were much younger. And there's a lot of laughter. You can walk in my house with shoes on now, and you can leave a dirty dish in the sink, and there's no one that's going to crucify you for it. Now, they have to pick up after themselves, but it's not a dictatorship. And so, my hope for both of them is that obviously they have to have their own journey, their own path, but them finding their way, and they're total opposites. One is very opinionated, very vocal, will fight you to the death to be right. The other one is like, say whatever, I don't care. So they're total opposites. But both really just, I'm blessed that they're good kids, and they've never really given us any trouble other than, being a teenager that's going to spout off from time to time. But they're good kids. They support me. They joke about me being the Zen mom now. They'll ask me, I tell them, don't come in the house with negative energy, I'll sage you, and they're just like, like, especially when Connor comes home and he's got this big energy about him, and I'm like, don't start with me, son. I'm like, the sage is right over there, I can go get it anytime we need to go there. And he's just like, so they've adjusted, and I'm like, y'all just have to be good people.
Yes.
Like, whatever you choose to do in life, you need to love what you're doing. If you don't love it, don't do it. Find a job, a career that you're passionate about, that sets your soul on fire.
That's it.
Like, it doesn't have to be, it's got to provide a living for you and your family and the things that you say you want in life, but you've got to love what you do. So if they can do that, that will make me super happy as a mom.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So much of our population, it's just a job.
Yeah, it's just getting a paycheck, and that's no way to live.
No, that's why we're trying to expand the Connect podcast.
Yes.
So that this can pay the bills one day, little by little. But this is my passion. This is what I love.
Yeah.
I love my role and what I do in the oil field, logistics. I'm on a team with some all just go-getters. And it's good, but it's a job, so to speak,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and here's the thing, you do that until you can get this other to where it needs to be. I sat in a seminar back in 23. Gabby Bernstein was the speaker, and there was a lady there talking about wanting to leave what she was doing and start this new thing. And she was like, well, hold up. And she had like a lot of just animosity towards her current career. And I was sitting there because that's kind of how I was feeling about my salon company at the time. And so I knew that the message from stage was really meant for me, because like by the third or fourth question, the lady was like the same age, and she was, had 2 boys, and she had been in the industry for 20 plus years, and all these different things. And her challenge to this woman was, what if every day you wrote down 3 things that you were grateful for about that business and career, because it's put a roof over your head, it's paid for your kids, it's done this, this, and this. And she's like, do it for 30 days. And so I went home that night, and instead of fussing about what wasn't working, I started just redirecting my attention on what was working. And within 30 days, I saw it differently. Within 60 days, everything, and it really wasn't anything with my salon company. It was what was going on with me internally and the way I was looking at things. And I've always expressed gratitude, but I wasn't expressing gratitude towards my business and the people in my business. And now that's like a daily thing that, you know, I do 4 or 5 things of gratitude, but there's always something related to whatever, like all the different hats that I wear, in addition to, you know, this weekend was all the family was in town, and, you know, I actually walked the 10K and finished it, and, you know, had a great time with my sister-in-law, just talking about life and taking in the sights in New Orleans. So there's a lot to be grateful for when you start looking for it. But as long as you're looking for negative and bad, that's what you're going to get.
We seek. We've got to seek the good stuff.
Yes.
And deal with the bad. Gratitude is a huge component.
Yep.
To really staying grounded, staying present.
Yeah. Yeah, I think staying in gratitude is a big one.
We got to keep it at the front of our head. That pairs with, why is this happening for me? Not why is this happening to me? Like, there's like groups of like sayings and triggers and things to keep in the front. You know? Until it's just like automatic. Like, this is the perspective I have now. That's how I'm living, you know?
Yeah. I keep, my phone goes off like 4 or 5 times a day with different things. And it's, Tony Robbins taught me how to do triads. And it's different moments that feel, one's for confidence, one's for gratitude, so it goes off at different times during the day just to remind me of like, take a moment, you know, and he says the life is happening for you, not to you.
100%.
A lot. And really, I embraced that philosophy probably since 2020. And that it's a game changer when you start seeing it from that way.
Yeah. What I take from this conversation, many things, many things, but the one that stands out is the drive and the desire to grow.
Oh, yes.
To constantly grow. And I believe it 100%. If you're not growing, you get stagnant. You start getting irritated. You start getting toxic, you know, mind, body, spirit, right? Our meditation, our exercising, working out, and then also expanding our minds and growing and seeking new information that is in alignment with ourselves.
Oh, yeah. If you're not growing, I say you're just dying. Like, once you get stagnant, and if you're not aware of it, there's going to be a disruption in your life. There will be some sort of a disruption, shift, something will take you to your knees, and then it's either you learn from that and you get up, because that's the, you know, spirit, God, source, whatever. He's telling you, like, you're not doing something. So let's get up and roll with it. But if you choose to stay there, then you're missing out on your purpose in life.
100%.
You know.
Let the audience know how they can get a hold of you, your book, your website, your social media. Yeah,
so you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. It's all my name, Jennifer J. Boutwell. Websites, Jennifer J. Boutwell as well. And then you can get the book on the website or Amazon.
Awesome. So, any parting words for the listeners?
Look, you just have to do the work. No one's going to do it for you. You have to be willing to look at your mistakes and use those as lessons in life. Show yourself the same grace that you're going to show somebody else, because it's not always going to be sunshine and roses. There's going to be hard conversations that you have to have with yourself and with other people. But if you do it from a place of love and kindness and respect, then that's finding your voice. That's finding who you really are.
Amen. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Wow.
Awesome.
Another home run. I hope today you took many messages. What a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for showing up and just being you, and for being a light in this world, and continuing to mentor, continuing to challenge yourself to grow, evolve, and push until the day that we float out. What a pleasure to
Thank
have
you. I
here.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming through and spending some time with the Connect family.
Thank you.
Honored to have you, Jennifer. Thank you. We'll see you next time. God bless. Thanks for joining us at the Connection Studio. You can support us by sharing with others and posting to social media. Keep doing the internal work, as it will truly make all the difference. God bless.